Hello and welcome to the vlog from Blackpool playing beach at the first late night riding of 2020. It's the 11th of April and we're here, the sun is shining, I hope we've just done it, it's running amazing. Oh my words, like, what? It's the 1st of May already. I've been stuck in here for like, what? How long have I been stuck in? Let me think. 7 weeks, something like that. 6, 7 weeks. Yeah, it's a long time. What was I saying again? Oh, well, that's what I would be saying if things were how they were meant to be, but they're not. Hello and welcome to this. Well, I've not really. This is kind of off script. I've decided, I'm quite busy with college at the moment, and I think, we're still in this situation, and I just thought I'd do a bit of a sit down, raw, off script video, and I've seen a few of these going about recently. Just kind of talking about, what's happened this year so far. This whole situation, what I think it means for the 2020 season, when parks will reopen, that sort of thing, and what we may see in parks, and kind of just my overall thoughts on the situation. To be honest, I know, and you'll all agree, this is the most challenging time, I'm sure you'll agree, of most people's lives. I think, considering that, I have dealt with it quite well, to be honest. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good, all things considered. This week's not been that great a week. It's not been the best, which is kind of what inspired me to make this a bit, or made me decide, what, I'll make this. Also, I've kind of seen a few videos going around, and my aim is to help you guys, and I know that these sort of videos help because, just people talking about this whole thing, it does kind of help. And I aim to kind of carry these on pretty much. The reviews are great and that, but obviously I've got to get all the footage together. I've got to go into the archives and kind of get the footage for the ride, edit it together, and I want these reviews to be good. I want them to be edited. I know they might sound a bit scripted, but they are meant to be the informative videos where I tell you guys about a ride, what you need to know about it. So I want them to be good, and that means naturally they do take time to make. Any of you guys who do YouTube will know that to make a good video you need to spend time editing it, and that's something that I've learned the importance of sort of more over time, of editing, cutting bits out. I've kind of learned about doing that more over time, which has kind of made my videos better. But for something like this, I want it to be quite open as it is, as I'm explaining it, because I feel that is more appropriate for this sort of video, which I'm doing at the moment. But yeah, basically I've got a lot of college work at the moment, and I just thought that, and to add a bit more variety to things, to be honest, because obviously I'm going to be doing the top 10s at some point when I sort everything out, and they're quite informative as well, or they're going to be quite informative, because again, that's going to be talking about rides kind of in detail, all the details, rather than being a more casual video. My more casual videos are like my vlogs at Pleasure Beach with Theme Park Mad and things like that, and I want them to be casual. And I kind of want to appeal to everyone, really, and kind of do videos that kind of embrace kind of both those kind of sides. But I'm definitely would consider myself, and I want to come across as kind of more on kind of the, open side, rather than things seem a bit scripted and robotic. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get my words out here. Yeah, the Incredible Hulk review in particular took me a while to edit, because I had to edit quite a few bits of that out because, you know, I was rambling on a while, as I'm doing right now. I think I cut out about 3 minutes of those videos, and also I got a few words muddled up as I just did, but I'm not going to edit that out. I mean, I say I'm not going to edit this video. You'll have seen the little intro I did. There'll be a couple more bits probably popping up throughout. But you know, it's just something to upload while I'm a bit busier. I'm coming to the end of my college course now, which will finish in June. I was actually informed yesterday, we got an email to say that our grades are probably going to be calculated. Obviously, for you guys, you'll all know this, but obviously this has caused chaos with the year 11s and the year 13s, well, second year of college students, because obviously everyone's doing exams and we're meant to be finishing things off, and it's likely going to, I'm sure there's going to be issues with the year 10s and year 12s, you know, first year college students as well, because obviously they're still, you know, doing a course towards something. And with universities as well, I'm sure it's going to cause some problems, although I am aware that they are their own bodies, they can kind of do their own things, and learning is more independent there, which it is to some extent with college, but the GCSEs in particular, learning is kind of less independent, there's more teaching and stuff like that, but it's not so much about the teaching side, it's more about the exams. It still is about the teaching for us, because mine's 100% coursework, which we've been doing throughout, and still have stuff to, there's still stuff to like teach, and we still have to do some coursework. And for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you do all know, I'm in my second year of college now, so aka year 13, so this has affected me, that's why our grades are going to be calculated, obviously because we're at an unfair disadvantage with this whole situation, and as not being able to kind of do the course how we normally would, you know, going in and have someone teach us. We're having to, obviously we're getting resources, but we're having to do everything from home, and that does take the pressure off things a bit, because it means that, well, it's pretty much guaranteed, or highly likely, sorry, that any of the work we've done since mid-March isn't actually going to count, but it is still important I do that work, because I'm studying. For those of you who don't know, I'm studying a IT course, and I'm going to be going on to university next year to do a software engineering course. So all of this that I'm learning is important. So to put me in as good a position as possible for when I move on to something that's inevitably going to be quite difficult and quite advanced in that field, I need to have as much knowledge as possible. And obviously college, you know, one thing of that is, other than gaining a qualification, the other major, you know, benefit of it is that I'm gaining my knowledge to go on to that, and I need the qualification I'm working towards to go on to what I want to go on to. But yeah, it's about the knowledge as well, not just the grades, but obviously grades are achieved with knowledge, so those two kind of work together, but obviously we're in a bit of a different situation now. And I'm pretty confident. I've worked hard over the 2 years, which is, you know, when you guys have not been seeing videos, it's because I've been working hard. I'm pretty confident with things, whatever happens. You know, they've said we're not going to be disadvantaged, but, you know, it depends how well this system that they're putting in place kind of works. Obviously they said that to reassure us, but you never know with these things. But yeah, hard work pays off, so it should be fine. But yeah, that takes the pressure off a bit, because I am a bit of a perfectionist and have to get things right. I often do more than I need to for things, and it can be quite stressful. And I'm actually happier now than I was at the start of the week, which is probably partly down to that, because it takes some of the pressure off. But you know, I'm still kind of like, I've got to get this right for the future and stuff, but it's not quite as bad. Yeah, I said that this video wouldn't be scripted. I'm just, you know, going to be speaking my mind, basically. Because I think, you know, as I said, to help you guys out, just talk about how things are. Not necessarily related to theme parks, although I am going to go into theme parks in a minute. just cheer you guys up. And I do aim to carry this on. If you have any ideas about stuff you want me to talk about, I don't know, maybe I'll do a Q&A or something, I'll do a live stream. I do want to do those sort of things. I want to interact with you guys, you know, and I don't want to just be talking to you about like rides and stuff. That is part of it, but I don't want it to be just that. I want this to be as interactive as possible. And the main reason I've not done those sort of things is because I just don't think I'm popular enough to kind of do those things. Obviously, you know, last week was a great week, and part of that was because I know I got a few subscribers. What a deal! But I'm a small channel, and 4 subscribers is still quite a large fraction of my total subscriber count, which hasn't changed this week. But oh well. Make sure you subscribe for more content, I guess. I don't want to be one of those channels who begs for subscribers, but you know, yeah, I've got plenty coming up, so you know, if you enjoy the content, I would encourage you to subscribe so you don't miss out. But I don't, and you'll know I don't bombard you with that sort of stuff, because I don't want to like just sound kind of like I'm begging for subscribers or anything like that, which I feel a lot of channels do, you know, saying that in every video. And don't get me wrong, you know, it can be a powerful tool, but I don't know, it sounds a bit beggy, if you know what I mean. But, you know, of course I encourage you to subscribe. And obviously it is on the ending cards, and you can go in the description. I know it says on the ending card, subscribe. But yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Like I said, guys, this is off script. It's going to be unedited. But yeah, I do definitely want to do live streams and stuff in the future, Q&As. I might start doing some stuff on my Instagram, because I do have actually a bigger following on both Instagram and Twitter, ironically, than YouTube, even though YouTube is my primary platform. But yeah. So I think, you know, I'll talk about now, I think, the theme park season so far, how it's gone. Let's get into that. I didn't really have an order plan for this, but I've kind of just, you know, the order that things have cropped up in, you know, is what I'm talking about. But I think I'll go into that now. So obviously at the start of the year, I managed to get out to Florida just before all this started. Rode Rise of the Resistance, which was really good. And yeah, even though I was ill, which, I mean, I was really ill, like, I know, like, I don't think it showed up in the vlogs, I was the illest I've been in a while, actually, and that was kind of before this whole situation, or it started getting talked about anyway. You know, the scale of this situation could have been a lot larger than what people, than when what we kind of recognised, because you know, this whole thing, it's so contagious, this virus. I mean, who knows, but we can only go off what the numbers have shown and what we're told, really. But yeah, I mean, it could have been out there, we don't know. You know, China started reporting it at some stage, but you know, it could have been well out there before they started reporting it. Who knows? There's a lot of investigation, as I'm sure you've heard, going on at the moment to kind of the source of this and what's kind of really happened, you know, just dissecting it all, really. But yeah, now on to February. I went to Blackpool Pleasure Beach for the opening day with Theme Park Mad. We had a lot of fun there. Rode the new retrack big one, and if you've seen Josh's vlog or some of his other videos, he's just loves reusing this clip for me. You know, they've more than retracked the big one, definitely. I think that they've definitely, I don't know, there's probably, I don't know, new wheels or whatever, but it was definitely smoother than it was in 2019. It wasn't unbearably rough, but it was certainly more jolty last year. And that was also an improvement on 2018 when I first rode it, and it was even rougher, you know. But yeah, it was definitely very smooth on opening day. We had lots of fun. We went on Icon. We put Danielle in jail for no reason.
Lucian and Danielle's in jail.
I don't know what I did.
I don't know what she's done.
Yeah, she kind of just got in there, but yeah. Anyway, the week after I actually went back to Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and then that was kind of the end of the season for me because, yeah, I didn't go to any theme parks after that. Unfortunately, the big one wasn't running the second week of Blackpool Pleasure Beach, but we had some good rides on Icon. But yeah, and we also saw the Valhalla 2021, although that might change, as I'll talk about in a minute. Construction. Not much had happened, but there was some boards up. There was some... Was the scaffold? I can't remember what I've seen and what I've seen on videos, but it looks like they're putting in a new station pretty much because there's a lot of scaffolding around. I believe we never rode flying machines, so I didn't get to kind of see over. I think it was closed from what I remember on opening day, but I can't remember. I'm sure I remember wanting to go on it, but then we didn't for some reason. I have a feeling it was closed, but I don't know. But yeah, and then that was kind of it. You know, I know Chessington opened for 3 days. Poulton's was open for a day or something. There isn't much to say after that because the main thing really that Blackpool Pleasure Beach WoW weekends, and I didn't get to go to any of the 3 or however many there was after that. Yeah, obviously Legoland Windsor opened the Duplo Dino Coaster. Chessington have opened their new rainforest area, but those kind of areas were only open for a couple of days or so, and then they had to close. Alton Towers opened for their pass holder day, and that was it. I don't think Drayton Manor opened. That was having some problems with the flooding from Storm Dennis that also battered the UK earlier this year, and there's been one of the worst storms in a good number of years. I know it's been a brilliant year, hasn't it, guys? Storms, and then obviously this virus, which wasn't that big a deal when the storms were going on, or at Blackpool opening weekends, or anything. That's not to say it should have been not a big deal back then, or because if we'd kind of cracked down earlier, we may have been able to avoid it getting this bad. But obviously back then we didn't really know. It's clear we didn't react quick enough, but well, maybe not as far as opening weekend, but maybe a couple of weeks after, maybe 3 weeks after or whatever. Well, a couple, I think 3 weeks after them. Maybe 3 weeks after, sorry. Would have been an ideal time, but I think it was about 4 weeks after, but you know, it was all new. It wasn't easy decisions for the government to make, obviously, with the economy and stuff, but it is what it is. That's in the past. We can only look to the future. You know, one more day in this lockdown is a day closer to the lockdown being over at the end of things. But yeah, and sort of since then I've been doing kind of these videos. I've been trying to interact with the community more, which has had mixed effects on, you know, I'm still quite new in this community and I don't find talking to people the easiest thing. I mean, I do find it easier online because, I don't know, feel like I can be myself more, I don't know. I think it's definitely harder in person for me. But yeah, I think definitely kind of over these past few months, you know, I've been really pushing since last year with the success of things, and you know, I've gained some new friends out of this, obviously, because I've got to know Theme Park Mad and stuff like that. I won't go into that story now. This video is going to be very much about this year. You know, that was last year. There's other videos explaining that. So go and check them out. Yeah, I just thought I'd plug those while I'm here. But anyway, back onto this year. So yeah, it's definitely as I've, you know, started talking to people more. I think there's definitely a mix of people in this community, and I think, you know, talking to people is an important thing to do. It's not always the easiest thing, but especially in these times, I think one of the best things you can do, you guys in the community, you know, anyone in the community, is support the newer channels. While obviously we can't meet up with people, but we can, you know, online support the new channels and talk to new people, because especially in these times which can be very lonely, I'm sure people, or the majority of people, will appreciate that. And while I'm on that subject, actually, I know I'm doing things in the order they come up, as I said before. I'd actually like to give a shout out to someone I've given a shout out to before, earlier last year. I'd like to give a shout out to Zoe from I'm Addicted to Theme Parks, because about a week ago now, she posted a video of some of her favourite channels, and she's actually made a playlist of her favourite YouTube channels, theme park related, obviously, as well as channels that you guys and myself have nominated. So she's basically, if you message her, I'll put a link to the playlist in the description. You can comment on the video as well. I'll put a link to the comment in the video, which has a social media on as well. But if you message her on social media, or put a comment on that video of a channel you want to nominate for the playlist, or your own channel, you can put your own channel. I put mine on Theme Park Mad's channel. She'll add it to the playlist so that people can watch it. She basically wants to do this to kind of spread awareness of smaller channels, and I think it's a really good thing to do. So go and check out I'm Addicted to Theme Parks. I spoke a bit to Zoe. I was hoping to meet up with her on Blackpool opening day, but that didn't happen because we basically just didn't see each other. I mean, I was with Theme Park Mad, obviously, but I was hoping to, you know, see Zoe. She met up with someone as well, but I was hoping to go and say hi, but unfortunately I didn't see her. I didn't actually see many people opening day. Obviously Theme Park Mad, I didn't see many people around. I think, did we see Airtime John around? I don't think we saw him to speak to. That's a good new channel, Airtime John, actually. But we think we saw him. There was this whole, I'm kind of new to the whole open day thing because this was my first opening day, but I believe there was Pleasure Beach Experience had a thing going on the log flume, like all the theme park community were there in Nickelodeon land. Rugrats Lost River, the riders. I didn't even know that was a thing. I mean, apparently it's an annual thing or something, but if I'm there next year, I'll certainly go and watch that. I mean, I was busy with Theme Park Mad at that point. I think that's when we were. I think if it was like 3 o'clock, or what I think it was, I think we were putting Danielle in jail for that at that time for no reason. You know, it's a random thing that happens. I just started vlogging it, as you saw before from the footage. But yeah, we didn't see that, and that jail at Pleasure Beach is near Revolution as well. So yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see that. Maybe that happened just before 3 o'clock, and I think we went to the big one after that. But yeah, I did not see a massive group of enthusiasts going to Rugrats Lost River, so I don't have a clue what that was about. But yeah, apparently it happens, and I'll be sure to check it out next year. Yeah, and actually a true fact, Pleasure Beach did used to have, or they might still have, cells where they put like people in who'd like needed to, the police needed to arrest. They put them in cells, like security put them in cells. If you don't know, there's a Pleasure Beach documentary from the 90s. I think it's called Pleasure Beach, like literally, which I watched like literally a couple of weeks ago. I only just seen it, and they actually do put people, or they did put people in actual cells. Not in that jail near Revolution, because that's way too small, but like inside somewhere. I don't know where they are, the cells, but they are there, or they were there. I put a link to the first episode of that documentary in the description, because I put, unless I can find a playlist, but I believe all the episodes you can easily kind of get to, because I believe there's links in the description to kind of all the others. There's a total of 5 episodes, I believe, but definitely go and check that out to pass the time during lockdown. But yeah, so that's Amidit's theme parks. That's that covered, and yeah. So I mean, obviously, as I was saying, you know, mixed kind of responses from people in the community. Yeah, I mean, my tweet from opening day for a start, that didn't go down well, did it? But yeah, and I've been talking to people since, or how I can. You know, I just feel like, especially online as well, it definitely feels like some people just don't want to talk to me or whatever. Or I think that's one of the dangers of online talking, well, messages anyway. You can't like hear someone or, you know, see someone, so it's difficult to tell the feeling. And because I'm visually impaired, you know, even in face-to-face conversations, I can't see facial expressions, and it makes socialising quite difficult in that respect. I have to rely on tone of voice a lot, but sometimes facial expressions and tone of voice don't kind of match each other. And yeah, I don't know what the statistic is, but it's like 80% of things we learn are through what we see or something. I don't know, something like that. So obviously I'm not getting that, and I'm not learning facial expressions, so it definitely, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so nervous about talking to people, really. But yeah, and then I think as well, it's, you know, sometimes it can be difficult to know what to talk about, especially at the moment, because there's not exactly a lot going on. But yeah, you know, and it does make me feel down when kind of things don't go right like that. But yeah, I'm doing what I can, and you know, I'm just kind of, you know, obviously I've got all this work going on, but I'm trying to kind of, in this time period, kind of look after myself as well, because I can get stressed over work, as I said. Like, seriously, this is the third time this has happened in a recent video I've done. Yeah, I've had to cut. Sorry guys, the camera's memory was just full. I know, this is so unprofessional, I'm so sorry. I know it's either the battery running out or this happens. Like, I think it's the second time this has happened in a video, and then like in my 2 recent videos the batteries run out as well. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm so sorry, but also I've been gone about half an hour now or something like that. During that time something has happened that I want to talk about, and it is relevant to this video actually, from a bit earlier on, but I'm going to save that to the end of the video because it is a bit of good news. I want to end on a positive. There's a few negatives I just want to talk about now, but it's relevant to this year. As I said, I'm being open and honest about this year and kind of how things have been since this lockdown, really. So yeah, as I was saying, talking to people is one of the best things you can do at the moment, and you definitely should, especially if you're feeling down about anything. Talking to someone, I know it's not an easy thing to do, but trust me, it's better than keeping things bottled up and just letting things build up until they get more difficult to deal with, really. The sooner you talk to someone about something, the easier that thing is going to be to deal with. Yeah. But as I was saying, I've been talking to a few members of... I feel like us new enthusiasts who aren't that well known can't have opinions about anything. Although that's the impression I get from some people. It's like, I'm going to put it like this. You've got a few different levels kind of in this community. You've got us guys just starting out kind of at the bottom, with like less than 100 subscribers, maybe like, I think until you get like 200, 300 subscribers in this community, most people who have less than that can't really be considered well now. There are a few exceptions, you know, people who've been kind of active a long time in the community before they've done YouTube, you know, on other social media platforms. But for people like me, where it's kind of the opposite, I've kind of come from it from kind of a YouTube perspective, and I'm trying to, like, you know, bring videos to you guys, you know, kind of become more well known in the community, you know, get friends from it. You know, my friends, you know, theme park mads is one of the biggest things I've missed during this time, like not being able to meet up with them, because, you know, you got to think it's more. I know everyone's going on about, you know, missing the theme parks, you know, Pleasure Beach, Alton Towers, and that, but it's the friends that we make through these theme parks as well. For me, that's probably, I miss them more than the theme parks themselves, because, you know, you like, if you've never been to a theme park with others, I'm sure a lot of you have, you know, it's just that I've never had that, but, you know, it makes such a big difference. You know, you will not believe it makes such a difference. I've not actually been to Pleasure Beach since first going on Theme Park Mad. I've actually never been to Pleasure Beach without them, which is, yeah, but yeah, anyway, so you got us guys at the bottom, you know, starting out, trying to make a name for ourselves. Then you've got what I'd like to say the majority of people in the community are. I'm not going to start naming people, because I feel like if I did that, some people might be offended, you know, if I'm referring to them as, you know, such a thing, and they kind of think there's something else, you know. So I want to avoid that, but, you know, majority of people in the community, whether they're on YouTube or not, you kind of got them on the next level. And from a YouTube point of view, I'm referring to people here with kind of about, like, you know, couple of 300 subscribers, kind of between that and like 5,000 or so, something like that. Kind of people like that, they're kind of known, you know, kind of everyone or most people kind of know them in the community. They're pretty well known, but yeah, and then you've kind of got people above that, you know, in like above like 5,000 subscribers, you know, and up to about 50,000. You kind of got some of the big names in the YouTube community, and I'm sure, and theme park community, and I'm sure you know who kind of those sort of people are, you know, up to 50,000 subscribers. You got kind of the big players in the game, and then over 50,000 subscribers, you know, until like 1 million or so, you've kind of got the big names in, you know, the big iconic vloggers and stuff like that of the theme park community. I'm talking about it in the UK here, but there's quite a few kind of in the US and stuff who are kind of at this level. You know, they're very, very well known. You know, if people are looking up theme park videos, they're going to be kind of the channels you start seeing at the top of kind of the YouTube searches and stuff like that. You know, you search Blackpool, Pleasure Beach, something like that, you'll see some of those channels popping up at the top. I'm sure you know who I'm referring to here, but yeah, 50,000 to 1 million. And then you kind of got the, I think, you know, the theme park community is not the biggest, and I think there's really only a couple of channels kind of over 1 million subscribers. No UK channels, US channels. Again, I'm not going to mention names here. You kind of got that level. And, like, I don't know, like, the very, very top of the community. Everyone knows about them. And yeah, not necessarily that they make the best videos, but, you know, everyone knows about them. And then you've got, like, people like this away from YouTube. You got like kind of people at like Andy Hine level. I know I'm mentioning a name here. You know, he runs the Roller Coaster Club of Great Britain, and he's actually a really nice person. I met him at Alton Towers. You know, people on that sort of level, right at the top of the community. I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but yeah, I feel like that kind of people, if you're not at that like main part of the community, like you have like 300 subscribers or whatever, and, you know, everyone knows you, they don't want to, or some people, they just don't want to hear your opinion. That's what my honest kind of thoughts with some people in this community. It's something I've more kind of noticed like recently, really. But yeah, and then So I think I'm going to go on to now. Kind of when do I think the theme parks are going to reopen? Because that's kind of everything I wanted to say with kind of that. And you know, it does put me down. I'm going to be honest, but I'm definitely in a better position now to what I was, you know, 1 year ago. I knew no one. You know, I do know a few people who I talk to now. I'm starting to meet some new people as well. Definitely recently in like the last couple of weeks, and I think the people who I get on with best in this community and that are kind of, you know, most welcoming, I think it's, you know, the other new YouTubers from my experience. And I mean, you know, you'll know if I've been on your live streams and stuff like that, you new YouTubers who may be watching this, or I've messaged you or whatever. But yeah, you know, we're trying to grow our channels together. So, you know, trying to support each other really. So I think, you know, you'll find that some of the newer YouTubers out there are some of the nicer ones, because, you know, it's, you know, they want to grow your channel, and, you know, we all know it's hard, so we help each other out really. But yeah, anyway, on to when I think the park's going to reopen. I'm really starting out to have doubts about this Skegness trip now. We were meant to be going to Fantasy Island, and I'm really having doubts over whether it's going to happen, because, you know, it just seems like, you know, things are really... I think it's going to be September, if not at all this year. And I know Airtime John said this actually, and I do agree with him. I don't think the park's going to be opening before September. And part of me wonders whether, you know, they'll just call it off for this year. But then again, they've lost a lot of money, you know. For those of you, you probably know this, but a week ago, I believe it was, M&D's announced that they've gone into administration. That's theme park in Scotland, and don't get me wrong, it's not the best theme park ever. It's a small family-owned park. I think it's family-owned anyway. Not got the best coasters. It's renowned for some very painful Pinfari coasters. But it's a shame, any theme park hearing about something like that is really sad for those of us who support this community, and just for the people in the area in general, because, you know, Scotland haven't really got any other major theme parks now. And yeah, it's very sad to hear that, because, you know, they've not really got anywhere to go now in Scotland. It's kind of the nearest place really is Pleasure Beach. But yeah, and could we see some more parks go? Again, I'm not going to name parks here out of respect, but there are some parks that I'm worried about, and I will name one actually. You know, even Pleasure Beach I'm a bit worried about. I don't think there's worry in terms of them having to close for good, although we don't know the scale of this, but they're going to be financially like any company, and, you know, all companies. It's not just theme park industry that's having problems with this, obviously. They're definitely going to be a bit... they're going to have to recover, especially spending God knows how much on Valhalla, which could actually save a lot of money in the long run, because they're working on ways to kind of make that sustainable with it costing so much to run. I think Valhalla's definitely going to get delayed. You know, Paulton's, their new area's been delayed until next year opening. But yeah, we're definitely going to see probably Valhalla delayed until 2022. Even though it is the 125th anniversary of Pleasure Beach next year, and they're definitely going to be supporting the park for that reason. And hopefully maybe I'll get to some of the smaller parks as well. I don't know, but it all depends on this situation. Obviously, safety first. I know these parks are like going to be financially in trouble, but, you know, safety first. It may mean for me especially, because I mentioned in other videos I'm at quite high risk from this, or believed to be anyway, because of health problems. But it may mean that I have to still stay indoors for a bit, even when the parks reopen. But as soon as it's safe to do so, I'll definitely be back at Pleasure Beach and stuff like that, supporting these parks. I know I have an annual pass, but it counts, especially in this times. Anything counts. But yeah, I think it's more than likely going to be next year when the parks reopen, if not September. I think they will push to open this year if they can, because obviously they'll be getting some of the money back if they do, hopefully. Another thing with Pleasure Beach that people have said is, and it was Pleasure Beach Experience who mentioned this, go and check them out as well, good YouTube channel. Basically they said that they think that Pleasure Beach will open half the park rather than the full park to start with, just to reduce running costs, but hopefully get an equivalent number of people in and make more money back. But I think they will have to reduce the price of wristbands somewhat, just so that because obviously it's limited ride offering, it would be if they did that, so that people would be more inclined to go, because you got to think people would it wouldn't surprise me, because I'd be the same. People are going to be worried when things get back to normal, obviously with the risks and how many people have died. There's still obviously hundreds of people dying every day from this virus, so people are going to be a bit worried about it, so they're going to have to persuade them back somehow, so that they get people in to make the money back. So that might mean reducing the price of wristbands, which is going to have some reverse effect on the financial benefits of opening half the park, because obviously they're going to be making less of a profit per wristbands if they reduce the prices. But yeah, and that brings us to the end of this video pretty much. I've said everything I want to say. Obviously I said at the start, this was off script. I just kind of said what came to mind, kind of just really reflecting this whole situation and the year so far. I will probably do another video at the end of the year highlighting 2020 like I did for 2019. I'm going to make that an annual thing now. I think there might not be that much to talk about, but yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And then obviously, like I said, leave your thoughts in the comments below, because I'm hoping to do like live streams maybe, and just stuff like that in the future, Q&As. It just depends how many of you want that. So comment below, message me on Instagram, Twitter, and even if you just want to chat, I'm always open to messages. If you're feeling down or whatever and need someone to talk to, or just feel that, especially you new YouTubers as well who may be watching this, definitely message me. But yeah, because it's through that I got to know people like Theme Park Mads, Amelie, Josh, Danielle. That was all through that. So yeah, but yeah, finally I'd just like to say, in that time I was gone, Zoe, who I mentioned before from I'm Addicted to Theme Parks, actually hit 1,000 subscribers. I think she hit it while I was recording this, because basically the camera stopped and I kind of looked on my phone. She was live streaming. I went on and she's hit 1,000 subscribers. So congratulations, Zoe. You definitely deserve it. And like I said, go and check her channel out. She's definitely one of the nicest people in this community. Just hit 1,000 subscribers. Get her to 2,000 by the end of lockdown. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, go and check her channel out. She's very enthusiastic about what she does, and she's kept going with it now for 5 years, I believe. So yeah, go and check that out. And that sums everything up. Yeah, I can't believe that happened. Like, I thought I'd leave this till the end, because I'm really happy for her that she's hit this milestone. Not gonna lie. Guys, I am not even joking. The camera storage just got full again. This is seriously gonna be something I'm gonna have to sort out, because I'm very sorry. You can tell this video's off script, can't you? I bet you can. But as I was saying, definitely go and check Zoe's channel out. And yeah, I think that's all I had to say. I can't. You cut me off mid-sentence, as it did before. So yeah, that pretty much sums everything up. As I said, as you can probably tell, this video is pretty unedited. but I wanted it to be like that, as I explained before. Apart from the little bits of editing in that, obviously. But yeah, next video, you'll have to wait and see what that's going to be. But yeah, I have decided on something, but I just want to kind of save it till then, and save it so you guys find out when it comes out. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.